What's up, guys? Coming at you early in the week with a special episode here from the Unqualified Filmbros podcast, talking about the Oscars. A lot of stuff went down at this relatively quiet ceremony. Once again, Declan is the only one who laughs at my jokes, so I got to reevaluate how I write. So congratulations to, I guess, Ben for having the most right picks because he picked Dune for everything.
I
don't know.
I feel like we all picked Dune for a lot of the technical awards.
I didn't.
Yeah, except for George.
Oh, George was the only
I
one.
trusted my gut on so many things. I don't know why I picked Encanto for best original score over
What one for the
Dune.
Right.
Dune.
And then no Time to Die one for
best original song.
did
Yeah,
anyone
how
else
does
get
that
one?
feel to say? Oscar winner Billie Eilish.
Honestly, and before Lin-Manuel Miranda. No, I'm kidding.
You're not kidding, because that's true.
Billie Eilish is extremely talented, and I don't hold her win against her or anything like that.
I mean, when a Bond film comes out, like it's especially more recently,
No.
it's gonna get nominated for best song, and there's a very, very good chance that it'll win.
It's an
But
interesting
still,
tradition.
like, No Time to Die, the song, is nowhere close to Skyfall by Adele.
No.
And yet each one best original song. So it's like, it's not like this was a weak field either. Like, the song from King Richard that I picked, Be Alive,
Mhm.
that should have won best original song, or Dos Orguitas from Encanto.
Don't forget that Sam Smith writing on the wall or whatever, that also won.
Oh yeah. Did King Richard win anything?
Did it? I'm trying to remember.
It won best tennis players.
Best tennis players.
Oh,
So yeah, Declan,
We
that's
gotta
a
get
good
into
segue.
we gotta get into it.
Declan, you take the lead on this conversation. You clearly want to talk about it the most.
I mean, okay, so I'm sitting there, really pissed off about how the show decided to make the laziest joke possible about the last duel. As all of you were, as well. No, I wasn't. Still
Max,
mad.
Ben, I'm sorry I let him take the lead.
Anyway, so then Chris Rock comes on stage and he's making a couple jokes. I didn't even honestly, I wasn't even paying that close attention to the jokes. It just
Yeah, because why would you?
yeah, there's
Like,
random stuff.
He's a presenter. The
And
jokes are
then-
written for him.
and he's a
then I
comedian. Like, he's
see-
gonna say some funny stuff.
He's a good comedian, and all that. I'm sure it's funny. And then I see Will Smith walk on stage and stand in this very specific location and slap him. And I'm sitting there wait, what was the setup for the what? And then from what I was seeing, the broadcast then cut all sound, and it was so awkward. And then it cut to Will Smith, and he was shouting at the top of his lungs,
Ben,
words
you
we
have the
couldn't
exact
hear,
quote, right?
words we couldn't hear, but it was clearly mouthed to us. Get my wife's name out of your motherfucking mouth. And then it
Just
kept going.
fucking. I think it was just fucking, not motherfucking.
Okay.
It wasn't Samuel L. Jackson up there.
No, but
Nonetheless,
Sam Jackson was one of the ones who went over to Will Smith afterwards and was like,
I know
you
it was,
gotta
I think
calm
it's
down.
Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry.
Who went over to Will Smith? It was Denzel,
Sam Jackson brought
Will
him
Smith's
off.
Hmm.
publicist, right? And there was one other, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. And once I went on Twitter, which big mistake, of course, as we all know. But anyway, once I went on
Big
Twitter,
mistake. You liked 24 of my tweets in a span of an hour and a half.
I hate this man. I hate
Keep
this
going, man. Keep going. You're on a roll.
Once you go on Twitter and you see people talking about it and having the same reaction as you, it's a real feeling. And then finding the uncensored version that was broadcast live in foreign countries, I feel like everyone just had this collective moment of like, oh my God, that just happened. We just witnessed Will Smith smack Chris Rock on live television. And then everything just kept going.
I think it was the yelling after, like the smack was one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that was the violence. But
Yeah.
then like yelling at the top of his lungs twice,
Like
you know.
if he didn't yell, I think there would be more of emphasis on more of a debate on whether or not it was fake. It was fake.
Yeah.
And all that. The fact that he yelled and
The
like
cut sound and like, you know, just him yelling. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh
It
my
was like
God.
there was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, no, there's no way this is there's no way it could be scripted for.
And then the breaking news alerts that I got from CNN, the Washington Post, New York Times, Apple News that all said Will Smith smacked Chris Rock during the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I got
All
none
right.
of those because I don't have news apps on my phone. What I did get was a push notification from Bleacher Report, as if this was some MMA fight or something.
It was.
It basically was.
It
It was
it
Hollywood's
it looked like it.
Fight Club.
Yeah, it was
I think
very
we're all
amusing to
just
see that from
wondering,
Bleacher Report.
what is going on in Will Smith's mind? Like, is he okay?
Well, the play-by-play of the moment, which, by the way, Declan, brilliant job going through each moment. But Will Smith's initial reaction to Chris Rock's joke about G.I. Jane 2, obviously Jada Pinkett Smith is dealing with her own medical hair loss. Maybe the joke was in bad taste. I would say it probably was.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Chris Rock actually knew about
Yeah.
like the condition.
Right. But Will Smith's initial reaction was
To be fair,
laughter.
she's been pretty public about it.
Yeah.
Still, I didn't know
Ah.
until.
But Will
Many people
laughed.
don't follow that.
Will laughed and Jada was pissed.
Mhm.
And I think in that just brief moment, he was laughing, he turns, he sees that, oh, she's not okay with this. I got to defend her honor. Now, why Will Smith would choose to defend his wife's honor when she has treated him horribly is anyone's guess. But the range of emotions that he must have felt in the span of about 13, 14 seconds. I'm with you, Declan. I'm wondering if there's something else going on here. He posted an apology on Instagram earlier. He was saying about like, you know, I'm a work in progress. I apologize to the Academy, to the fellow nominees, to Chris Rock.
I guess since Kanye's been banned from like all these places, you know, Will Smith is just channeling like you know, his next performance playing Kanye West.
Filling the void.
Yeah, filling the void. You need some controversial, you know, celebrity.
I think like it's part of it that like makes it feel like even weirder. Honestly, like Jada was clearly like, to me, her like reaction almost like came across more as like annoyed rather than like truly fuming. So the fact that Will Smith felt so strongly as to like literally assault a man like adds to this like jaw-dropping confusion at it
You know,
all.
I think the crazy thing is if I saw this in like a Will Smith movie, I'd be like, man, that's a terrible performance. Like it doesn't even make any sense. What, he's laughing and then he just gets up, like casually walks on stage, smacks a dude, like walks off, like just a little, you know, a jacket and like, you know, you're walking out of Compton or something. I'm not really sure if he was taking on a little too much method acting. I don't think he's a
Yeah.
method actor, but it was the strangest like series of events.
Obviously, it was staged. The guy who smacked
yeah.
Chris Rock is a paid actor.
I think Chris Rock was probably shell shocked, like
Yeah.
as confused as everyone else. Only he was there. Like,
But props to Chris Rock because he did not touch his face for the rest of the time he was on stage.
no,
he
got hit hard. You could hear it.
Yeah.
Dude, it sounded like it sounded like Will Smith like knocked the mic out. That's what it sounded like on some of the videos. Like it's that loud.
Yeah.
He would have been entirely justified, I think, to just like, obviously it might have made it worse, like to just leave the stage, you know. If you just
Chris Rock looked backstage very briefly. Just to see if the stage manager or producers or someone was going to be like, all right, we're going to pause the show now. We're going to deal with that. But obviously no one did, and he had to keep going with best documentary feature.
Still, I mean, it's really just good hosting on him. Like compared to the actual hosts, he was much better than them.
Yeah, let's segue here.
Can I
oh,
like adding on to it, but also segueing to something. You know, I feel in some ways like Amy Schumer was kind of being disrespectful to Kirsten Dunst in the same way.
Disrespectful, like getting her name wrong?
Yeah. Pretty disrespectful.
Come on, Declan.
I don't, the thing is, I'm now stun locked because I'm now uncertain which one was
Kirsten.
wrong. Kirsten. Okay, good. I corrected myself. Thank you.
Yes, you did.
Fuck you both. Anyway,
Max, you're the only good one because you don't say anything.
Anyway, Max is always the good one.
You're the smart one.
Anyway, so like I feel like her joke about the seat warmers was like weird and like not like it just felt like uncomfortable, like, or not uncomfortable.
I mean, I think that's part of it, right? There were so many jokes last night that probably would have got a lot more airtime afterwards for being dumb or cringy if Will Smith hadn't smacked Chris Rock. Like there's so many jokes last night. I mean, I am thinking of the one
where Amy Schumer dropped from the ceiling as Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, that, but there's just so much, right? Like they're not that funny. The Academy,
they weren't funny at all. I don't know anyone that enjoys
they never really are.
Yeah.
I was confused by the prioritization of certain elements of the show, like talking about Oscar fan favorite Cinderella, or talking about the most cheer-worthy moments.
Like how about the win fan favorite?
How about the 5-minute Wanda Sykes goes to the Hollywood Museum package in the show, and you got to do best film editing and best original score pre-show, not even announced like in the live moment.
It's an awards show, not a skit show.
Yeah. Like I'm glad at the least we got to see some of it. I was worried we would literally not even see any of it. So in some ways that's good. But like if you're cutting out awards in the award show, you better make the other stuff good.
Exactly.
And a lot of it really was not particularly fantastic.
Maybe that's what got Will Smith to snap, is he was just like listening to these terrible jokes. And that last one from Chris Rock, it just like hit him. All of a sudden, he just went berserk. He's like, "Man, this sucks." That slap was for all of us at home.
It wasn't aimed at Chris Rock.
Jokes.
It was aimed at Hollywood and the Academy.
Yeah, like he was just in the way.
Yeah, the slap is obviously the big story from the night. I think the hosts, right decision to go back to having hosts, because I think people
they just need to choose better hosts.
Well, to your point, Ben, I said this last night on Twitter. I said this in our group chat. There's only one name that the Academy should consider for hosting next year, and that's Chris Rock.
I mean,
They gotta invite Will Smith back. You know,
Will
Chris
Smith
Rock
and
goes.
Chris
Well,
Rock
Will
as
Smith is
co-host.
going back. He's gonna present Best Actress next year because he won Best Actor.
That's
Can
maybe
I
they'll change it.
Can I ask you guys a genuine question? Should one last point on the slap kind of and all that, but still one last thing. Should Will Smith have been escorted out of the theater?
No,
You don't think so?
no. That would have made it a bigger deal than it needed to. I think,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing on the biggest stage of Hollywood's night is you don't want to draw attention away like that. Like the
Okay.
attention is already
So
off of the award show.
I feel like you only drag someone out if they're being like really like
if he
if he
started
kept
going
doing
at him and
something
beating
and
him
he
up,
kept walking back on stage and hitting people, yeah, you can remove him.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
if it had been worse than a slap.
Yeah.
If he had
Or if he
tackled
started,
him
like,
to the ground,
beating him up.
Yeah.
if he needed to be
That's
physically
fair.
restrained from Chris Rock,
I feel like
then yeah.
there's punishments like afterwards that they should do. But
yeah,
that would have been too far, and that
there
would have.
won't really. I don't think nothing is really going to come of this. The Hollywood, like the Academy has already issued a statement. He's already apologized. Chris Rock isn't pressing charges.
The Academy is reviewing it.
They are reviewing it.
I don't know if they're gonna like take away his Oscar for Best Actor.
They're not going to.
No,
They're not gonna do that. But
the acting awards aren't character awards, and the Academy knows that. That would be a ridiculous reaction to this. This is just something. This is just fodder for us to talk about the next couple of days, and like it's fun, but nothing substantive. I don't think will ever come out of this.
I think one thing they might do is just if he's like allowed to come back, have him not present the award. Like that would limit the amount of controversiality for the next Oscars. You really want to limit because it shouldn't be about Will Smith like slapping someone. It should be about the awards. And to go along with that, all these stupid sketches and stuff, it's like just remove them. It's an award show, not a sketch show, not a skit show.
Yeah.
This isn't SNL. It's the Oscars.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it takes so long, is because the speaker, like, they add the jokes in, and then that takes away time from
it's 3.5.
There's
the
no.
show is
They think
3.5
to, like,
hours.
break it up, but nobody cares about the filler.
Yeah.
All you really need is present your 23 categories, let them all have 45 seconds to speak, and maybe show, I don't know, a 30-second clip from each Best Picture nominee, go through each Best Original Song nominee, and then have the host can do a monologue at the start.
Do something at the end.
Like make it like about the love of movies and movie making and all that. Celebrate.
Neil Patrick Harris hosted the 87th Oscars 7 years ago. His opening monologue was a musical performance. Anna Kendrick was part of it. Jack Black was part of it. They had this whole choir, dancers. It was awesome. And it was a celebration of movies. And, I feel like having a host is the right call because you can get something like that. But then when you're trying to do like these interstitials, like, oh, we're going to do a little sketch where we're all in costume as different characters from the movies that are nominated this year. Or, I'm going to go check out this Hollywood museum and pretend that I'm a big donor. I was at work, so I didn't really watch the entire show that closely, admittedly. I watched a lot of it. Obviously, I saw the slap. But the Oscars should be, as Declan just said, a celebration of the films that are nominated, a celebration of movie making. Right? Am I crazy for saying that?
No. And I think like a performance is the right call, especially like performances, that come from movies or inspired by stuff. But a lot of like the filler stuff is just the host going on and on about stupid stuff. Oh, and one of the ones that really bothered me the most, like I don't know how much everyone cared, but I think it was Regina Hall. I think it was just her bringing everyone on stage for a COVID check. She was literally like, her and someone else were like groping, like Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa. I'm like,
I miss
just
I
bad
can't do that,
taste.
man. You cannot normalize that after all the Harvey Weinstein shit. I know it's like reverse genders, but it's not okay.
That's a double standard though, because imagine if
she was bringing people on. She was like, "Oh, you, and you. Oh, yeah, you're legal, right?" Like,
imagine if
come on,
Jason
man.
Momoa was the host and he brought Regina Hall onto the stage and did that.
That would be.
But also, I think
messed
Josh
up.
Brolin looked a little uncomfortable. I mean, he didn't say anything, but like they both look pretty uncomfortable, like literally being groped by the host. It's
yeah.
So let's talk about the show.
Yeah.
The actual awards show.
The awards.
Because around
which ones? The ones that were cut for that, or
around the aggravated assault and unfunny sketches, there were actually awards handed out during the show. Not the half a dozen that were given out beforehand to allow for all the mumbo jumbo in the middle, or as someone else would say, malarkey in the middle.
I just have to say, is it like this is probably one of the biggest shit shows of an Oscar
in a long
that
time
has happened?
Well, I mean, Moonlight.
And is it a coincidence?
No, but like Moonlight, that was an honest mistake. This was just bad, right?
Yeah, and you can bet
like,
that Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty were texting like crazy last night.
Yeah.
We're not the biggest thing anymore.
Yeah. Is it a coincidence that, taking out all these awards, just like there was so much more shit that went wrong?
And you still had to take 3.5 hours.
Like, add the awards back. Oscars.
Add the awards back in. Take out all the filler. You still have 3.5 hours, but it's about the movies.
Yeah, like do an opening monologue, and then for each presenter or whatever, have the presenters or whatever make a couple of really stupid jokes, but then actually announce the award, and that's it. You don't need to do all this other stuff.
I still have the question, like, so we got hosts back for the first time. We got 3 hosts, but not one of them, or in my opinion at least, funny. One of them is very clearly a joke stealer. Cough, cough, Amy Schumer.
I don't think you coughed loud enough.
This is the Oscars. They could get so many people. How did we end up with this?
Yeah. I mean, Wanda Sykes, I like Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes can be good.
She's funny when she's doing her own material.
Yeah.
I
feel like
just let one person do it.
Yeah,
it's so crowded already with all these movie stars and with the presenters and the performers that you don't need 3 people hosting, because then they just blend into the background and it doesn't feel like it's one person hosting.
Yeah, right? Amy Schumer disappeared for like an hour and a half. Just came back afterwards.
The only way I would be okay.
The structure of the show should have significant input from the actual host. It should have their voice and their stamp of approval and their inspiration within it, and that you don't get that with 3 people.
It didn't feel like
the only way I would be okay with 3 people is if it were Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland.
I think the biggest thing that Max touched on there was like they didn't feel like they were actually hosting the Oscars. They just felt like they were impeding on the Oscars. They just showed up and was like making bad jokes, making people feel bad because they lost, like making people feel bad because their movie didn't get watched.
If you
like they made fun.
Which movie are you talking about in particular, man?
Oh, what is it? The Last
Jedi.
Can I just also be like real? It's like the joke wasn't even clever. Like you could have at least like made it like good. Like,
they're bad jokes.
It's a film about a woman trying to speak the truth in a male-dominated society. No wonder Hollywood didn't like it, or like something like that. I don't know. Just like more than just like.
It seems like everyone was just willing to shit on this movie. I don't know why.
Like I don't.
We all loved it.
It was
That's
critically
something
well
like you
reviewed.
shouldn't you like as a host or as a presenter, you shouldn't be shitting on the movies or the people that
You really
are not
shouldn't.
Yes,
are not
exactly.
nominated. Like
Yeah, exactly.
You should be shitting on like
you
Space
shouldn't be
Jam.
shit
How do they
talking
not?
movies on
How do they not
Hollywood
shit on
Night.
Space Jam?
Oh my God, you're
They
so
shit on
right.
Last Duel. They didn't shit on Space Jam.
No, the
sorry.
Razzies were this weekend. The Razzies took care of that, and they took care of Diana the musical, and LeBron James and all that.
I don't
But yeah,
respect the
if you're gonna poke fun at the movies that came out in the year, do it to like Power of the Dog or Coda or
like,
the movies that are nominated,
yeah,
like West Side Story. You could poke fun at that.
And that's easy
As much as
because we
Declan
all
would hate
know that
that.
they're not bad films, right? They're
Yeah.
nominated for
Right.
Best Picture, so
Yeah.
we know you're not being serious.
Yeah,
Make fun of Dune.
Yeah, like something like that. It's like something.
Make shots at Marvel movies.
Like it honestly
Yeah.
felt bizarrely mean-spirited to be like, oh, no one's seen it.
Every single one of their jokes was like very mean spirited. I mean, even like Chris Rock's thing. Like
Yeah. I mean,
obviously
was
it
a hacky
deserved to get
joke,
slapped.
yes.
It was just like a very mean spirited Oscars. Like
That's why the host shouldn't just be a comedian. It should be like George was saying with Neil Patrick Harris. It should be somebody that loves theater, somebody that loves movies.
Just
How about
bring
Daniel
back Billy
Craig?
Crystal. Just bring it back. Bring it back 10 times in a row. Who cares?
That's not a bad idea.
John Mulaney.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love that, actually.
Because just what Max was saying about having the host's flavor in the show, I disagree. I think having someone who knows comedy and knows how to make something entertaining, like Neil Patrick Harris is an entertainer.
I think you want someone
that
good
factor.
At, like performance and like presentation. Like just a straight up stand-up comedian doesn't work. But the reason why, like, I think Seth MacFarlane was pretty good when he hosted.
He was.
These guys and Billy Crystal, obviously,
you could get a late night host. A late night host presents.
You need someone quick on your feet,
Mhm.
and you need someone who doesn't have these like shitty jokes that they clearly. They brought a prop on DVD, like they plan these out. That's bad.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
Have Fallon do it. Have Myers do it. Have Colbert do it. Trevor Noah even.
Yeah. Hey, Conan's out of a job.
Oh yeah.
Give him the Oscars. He would do a great job.
Conan, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Conan tweeted something last night, and he was does anyone have a late night show I could borrow tomorrow night?
Yeah, I laughed at that. That was good. I got it.
So half an hour in here, just as we get to the close of this special episode, let's actually talk about the award winners.
Yeah. Can I talk about a good or something that was nice? Like an actual positive.
$20 says that this is about Ariana DeBose.
I'm not. You thought I was going to do that? Psych. I thought Tony Kotzer's speech in American Sign Language was very good and very well said. And it was also cool how the actress presenting it, signed his name in sign language, and then everyone signed applause and all that. I thought that was really cool, and it was. Yeah, that was very nice. He spoke incredibly well as well.
I did have a point about that, which was Dakota won like all of its awards, and they had people up there doing the sign language when they won. But what about the other times? Like. They deserve to know who else wins or what's going on.
Maybe.
I wonder if the deaf people out there just watched Will Smith like go up smack. He's like saying things. What's going on?
Oh God.
But yeah, I saw someone mention that. I don't know if it's just not televised. It was very clearly because they're on stage. So I don't know if they have someone.
They had ASL interpreters in the theater, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I heard something about there was an alternate stream for people to get the ASL.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I was just thinking for it being such a big movie like that seems like something that'd be hard to miss.
Were you guys surprised that it won Best Picture? Max, you go first. It was your favorite film of last year.
Yeah.
It was. I also think I picked it to win based off
I
of
think you did, yeah.
sentimentality more than anything else. So I'm gonna take that as a win.
You should.
But I just watched it actually over the weekend again, and it holds up. It's just such a lovely film. So, was Power of the Dog, I think, a better film? Probably. But I don't think that should take away from the fact that Coda is a deserving winner, regardless of the fact that there were some strong films in the category.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Coda winning. It definitely didn't feel like a wrong thing. I feel like, yeah, Coda was deserving of it, and Coda's a great film, and I liked it a lot. So I like that it won. If it couldn't have been West Side Story, and all that, Coda, I'm okay with that one winning.
Yeah, I think there are probably. Oh, you want to go?
Go ahead.
I think there are probably like 5 films that I would have been happy with. Coda was definitely one of them. But I still was kind of, not expecting it at all. It was on the lower tier of like what I expected. And for me, like with Best Picture, I think a lot of them can win. It's up to personal preference to a certain degree. It's art. But I really didn't expect it to win. I thought Power of the Dog had that locked up pretty hard, especially after Jane Campion won for Best Director.
Yeah.
I think Power of the Dog might have been like too much of a front runner or something. Like this is weird, kind of. But I'm almost
maybe people all were like, "Oh, Power of the Dog's probably gonna win," and they're like, "Well, you know what? I really like Coda."
Exactly.
They did what
like,
Max
I
did, but
almost
then
think
they
that
actually
didn't what happened. It's like, oh yeah, Power of the Dog's gonna win. Yeah. I really enjoyed Coda. I'm gonna write that first so that I'll have Power of the Dog second.
Yeah.
I could, without a doubt, see that.
That would be interesting. I don't know how the Academy's voting process works, but like ranked choice.
I want to say it's ranked choice or something like that.
I think it is.
Yeah, which leads
that would make sense.
Yeah, which often leads to thus like films that are generally likable winning over controversial.
Yeah, insert clever joke about United States democracy here, and we can move on.
They're doing ranked choice voting in New York now, I think. They're
New York City
places.
They're doing it in Maine and Alaska and New York City, and they're
the
all
3 most American places on Earth.
Amen.
So I think Coda, like Ben just said, there were a handful that I probably would have been. I'm happy with Coda being the choice. I don't have Apple TV Plus. I have not seen it yet. I'm planning to rectify that as soon as I possibly can. Worth it for the subscription, I think, at this point.
Big Beth on there too, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I think, just from what I've read and what I've heard from interviews from people involved in the production, it's a worthy film of Best Picture. I think it fits sort of the safe choice that the Oscars have, for the most part, followed over recent years. Nomadland, Green Book, big examples of that. Parasite, the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
Which was a bold choice, but now it's probably one of the best picture winners of the last 10 years, if not the best. I'm excited to see Coda, especially now that it's won Best Picture. I was excited to see it beforehand. Power of the Dog, Belfast, all of these films that were nominated. Sorry, most of these films that were nominated, they had to fill out 10 this year instead of having between 5 and 10, which I think weakened the category overall. But I think most of the films were deserving of the nomination. Fewer than most were deserving of the award. Coda was one of those films. So what do you guys think of, we already talked about Will Smith. What do you guys think of Jessica Chastain winning for The Eyes of Tammy Faye?
But I do have to say, because we haven't actually mentioned about him actually winning the award over Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch did give the best performance by a lead actor last year.
Yeah. I honestly, like, regardless of whatever Will Smith did on stage, like, I didn't think that was one of the best performances, or I would say I wouldn't even say it's top 5 for me, at least. It was a very emotional role, but like they always say in acting, it's really easy to play very emotional characters. It's hard to play more emotional, but like less visible. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch did a very good job. I even thought Bradley Cooper did a very good job.
Denzel.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch definitely should have won. This was not even Will Smith's, this is probably the worst performance that he was nominated for. He probably should have won for, something like Ali, but it is what it is.
I think he's kind of been searching for an Oscar for
it's like Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like, oh, he won for The Revenant. Okay.
Again, Leo is a great example of that, Ben. Just someone who, they take these roles in search of that Oscar. And Will Smith, he produced this film. He was a big part of its, development and then production. But, is he the only one who could have won an Oscar for Best Actor playing that part?
No.
There you go.
I think no. There you go. Sorry. No, you go.
So yeah, Will Smith. I think he was the betting favorite going into the actual show.
Because it just bothers me because it was his time for the Oscar,
Yeah.
Talk about a safe choice, right?
Yeah.
Really any of the other picks weren't anywhere close to as safe as essentially a biopic.
Yeah.
With Will Smith as the lead.
Especially like, the Williams sisters, very beloved American icons.
Yeah.
This is the biggest Oscar bait you could possibly
make.
A
somewhat controversial figure in and of himself. Like this was the perfect film to get nominated for a bunch of Oscars and probably win some.
I just want to point out to the entire world that's watching this, thank you for watching first and foremost, but also Will Smith did not win the Oscar after he slapped Chris Rock. He won the Oscar months ago, and he just happened to slap Chris Rock 20 minutes before it was announced.
It was given to him.
It was decided long ago. So we're clear. Anyway, Jessica Chastain.
Big on the semantics of it all.
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain, Best Actress winner.
The other three of us are just here for a good time.
I gotta watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how many of the best and like this is like a trend that many people have noted. Like a lot of the best actress, the films that actresses are nominated for aren't often nominated alongside like for Best Picture. Like is Eyes of Tammy Faye? Oh no, it won hair and makeup and all that, I think, but still, not as widely nominated as The Power of the Dog, for example.
Being the Ricardos that had Nicole Kidman and
Javier Bardem,
Spencer
and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, and J.K. Simmons.
True.
And Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
I see your point though, Declan.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
I do see that trend a lot.
It's like, I'm curious about the film now a little. Like, since you
won too.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed. The films that, Best Actresses were nominated for, I really hadn't seen. I hadn't seen too much like press for them. A lot of them are not movies that I typically would go out and see. Being the Ricardos, I knew about, but that was pretty much the only one. Maybe Parallel Mothers too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Eyes of Timmy Faye, I don't remember seeing very much from.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Chastain is a great actress. It's like I think she's also been working for an Oscar for a while now. So good for her.
Oh yeah. She always
And
puts up good performances.
she had a great speech too, talking about a very
Oh, yeah.
powerful, very relevant issue.
Mhm.
And very, very well delivered. I think she's very well spoken, not on the screen as much as she's a great actress. She is a great activist, and she gave a great acceptance speech using her platform for good, which I think sometimes acceptance speeches can get preachy. That one didn't.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up here, I just want to talk about one more film, the film that won the most awards of the night, Ben's Best Picture, Dune. What do you guys think of its 6 wins at this year's Oscars?
I think it was well earned. Let's be
Yeah.
real here.
Like looking at all the places where they won awards, it's like very clear. It was very much along the lines of like Star Wars. They did a lot to make that movie. And you can criticize like the pacing and stuff, but it looked great. It sounded great. Score was awesome. I mean, everything, production, design wise, and technical,
Cinematography, editing.
No.
clearly.
Hans Zimmer winning his second Oscar in so many years.
It's an absolute clinic for everything technical.
Yeah. Anyone, even someone who isn't like knowledgeable, I think, about the filmmaking process, which is, like a lot of people
should try film school.
Hey, do you know anyone doing that? No.
No.
And even someone who isn't knowledgeable, I think seeing Dune would still feel like it's a achievement kind of, and like it just it feels like it looks so amazing and so unique. Like it's a feat, and it deserved to sweep its technical awards in my opinion. Yeah. Also, hey, you see who won Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah, what other awards did West Side Story win?
No, that was I will say that was the one that I was predicting and also thought would happen. The Best Picture I knew wasn't going to happen, but I didn't care at all. That one I was predicting and I got it right. I'm proud of it. Proud of beating you all.
Props to Hamilton legend Ariana DeBose winning Best Supporting Actress. I think that just about covers it. I loved that Jane Campion won Best Director. One final note there. I think that was the best directing job of the season.
If Power of the Dog was to win one award, and it probably should have won more, but if it was to win one, I'm glad it was for best directing.
Yeah, and now 2 straight years with a woman director winning Best Director, which is a step in the absolute right direction.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
So hopefully we see more of that going forward. All right, it was certainly a very interesting Oscars night. You've heard us talk about our thoughts about the slap heard around the world, about the hosts, about each award, or each of the big awards. We want to know what you think about the Oscars. What were your picks? What did you think should have won? What didn't win? What did you think of the red carpet show? What did you think of the slap? We want to hear all of that from you. You can hit us up on social media. Hit us up in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that YouTuber crap. So we will see you probably later this week, if not the next week. We're figuring out our schedule, but we're going to be watching a lot of movies. So have a good night and enjoy watching all the Oscar winners.
Right.
See ya.